To another episode of the Lord Media Podcasts for Kisoba League Season 5. This is a season that will have its finale at Kacheka Stadium. Abatakarebe that advert or that vibe about it. Please, it is on all our socials. We shall have our finale Kacheka with Omnajiro, the new version, a bit different from we have the long sleeved, then Twinehona na short sleeved, different version from what we have always had before. Then now, going back to what happened on match day 5, things were a bit shocking as usual. Nothing much. Lycans maintain their top bottom. Gong, as usual, battling down. Then we see Lycans that are struggling without any goal this season. They have not even scored just one goal the whole season. They have not even scored one goal. Then Lords come back to the top and take their spot. Number 1, Elites drop a bit. And Kasananga FC finally registers their first loss against a derby team, that is Team Haven. That is briefly to sum what happened through the match day. The match day seemed to be so busy with derbies, between derbies, around 5-6 derbies. We had Team Haven, Kasananga, that was a derby. We had Giants, Millennium Coco, that is also a derby. We had Men of Men Gong, that is a derby, Jamaican Bees Ghetto. In short, I send a request to the technical part that does the fixtures. When we have this thing of derbies, please, Joe match, they give it some good vibe and some good marketing on that. Now, briefly to talk about what happened, we started with games in the morning. The first game that happened between Jamaican Bees and Erudites, the match that seems to have been a walkover, but in the eyes of so many people, that is not a walkover. It was a walkover, 3-0. Jamaican Bees seem to have done some chemistry there, but because really we don't understand how the kids were not available at around 10 without anybody, but in the next 15 minutes the whole team was available and seated. But turabiteho misho omukamba shenyire tashakuba, so Jamaican Bees register that and finally take 6 points also to push them up. Then we see the next game that was Men of Men. I'm talking about results as Veziri Akufa pitch. Men of Men managed to take their win. Sorry, they did not take a win. They managed to draw against Navis, a game that seemed so easy for them till the final whistle, 0-0. Then we saw a good match against Elites and Giants. Giants, the community team, thought they would take something big from this match, though it seemed not an easy match because we see the low budget Yamal, that is Max Jr. He did all his best, did the dual dribbles against the defensive Giants, but finally the lucky team had to win. That was Giants, and won the game 1-0, courtesy of I think that was somehow Nelson. I think that is the person that scored Oakleaf. Then we go to Galaxy and Bero Galco. Galaxy and Bero Galco happens to have been, it is also a good match because these are teams. Galaxy have their philosophy, the passing philosophy. Then Bero Galco with their Lorica kit that is new in Kisoba League. Of course, we thought they would do something big. Galaxy still trail with a draw, and they managed to take a draw. The goal we saw from Legue managed to score. Good boys, the return of Gilbert in their midfield also had to give them something good for that match. They then Eminence take on Variants. The Eminence had a new coach. I don't forgotten his name, but they had a new coach. Maybe they managed to take a draw because you know what has been happening to the Eminence. Then we go to Lycans and Kasananga, a game that would seemed to be so easy for Kasananga till the last minute, because this was a game where everyone thought Lycans would at least take 3 goals, 0. But the game moved and moved and moved, chances wasted and whatever happened, finally through Musime Hidare Chivivi Tayari, Kasananga managed to get a goal. Lycans did not have any shot or any effort to score one whom you think is small in Kisoba League is not small till the last minute. And then another thing, what you analyze through this game, Lycans are trailing and battling against Vanguire, but at least they managed to be there up to the last minute. We thought it would be an easy walk for Kasananga, but lastly, this was even a goal they got in the late minutes of the game through Hillary, and assist from Rooney Ndiabaika. Then that was another game, Team Haven and Descendants of Clap, a game that seemed to have no big much effort to watch about either side. Zona teams, there was nothing much to watch, but it is a disappointment to Team Haven that are battling for the top 8 to get a draw on this match. It is a disappointment. Then we see my team, Lords and Cheaters. I send greetings to Martin Tukashaba, the former coach, the new coach. This is a coach that is sacked over and over. They sack and then he reappoints himself, agarukaho. Then they finally say, no, Coach Byarema, and then they send him. Then acheza Jatininye Mugiga. Consolations are so many on his side, but finally, we thought they played this game so well because we thought each game they had contained this game till Lord said and I usually tell this to my colleague Mr. Martin, the coach, ati ekizu kyamanti noku ekyasigize n'okugwezanira church. He's the boss, he's the coach, he's the team doctor, he's everything. So Martin, please do something and let the team have some other person to take on. Then we saw Gong battle with Ghetto. Ghetto finally take a win, 2-0. You see the courtesy of Gilbert, that energy they put on pitch, plus this guy Kanyama, Kanye. Yes, they're doing well. And anyway, we expected this. Nothing much to say about this game as well. Then we see another game of the top 8 battlers. That is Millennium Coco and Platinum FC, the MVPs FC, as they call it, not my words, that is what they call it. Those who watched this game, Platinum did more of attacking. They were attacking over and over. But Millennium would sit and get that perfect chance to also execute an attack. Till they tried and tried, but all in the end, still nothing came out for them. Then we go to the last game on this pitch. I'm taking pitch by pitch. This is Kufa pitch. The last game that was by Eminence. Now, I send this to Martin. Martin Tukashava, still the Cheetahs coach and big man. Now, Okawaji Zirengu, Eminence cannot beat someone. Now, we see this a result of 4-0. And you may tell me it is because on which team are they taking this kind of score. Yes, it is okay to find Lycans and then you tell me the boys are getting a 4-0. But hati we, no what will you convince us? Because the Eminence managed to get something on this pitch, but 4-0. I saw Jude scored 1 goal, then there's a goal through Banner. There is a goal through this boy from Elegant, that young man also scored. Who else? That is it. And then the return of Aine to the squad, the Bunyaruguru boy managed to also change results for them. This was a team that had 3 games. Now, out of 3 games, they managed to draw 2 and win 1. That is a good performance, of which Cheetahs cannot do. Martin, you can't unless God is on your side that day. Then now we go to what happened on the Bataka pitch. It was Bero Galco and Lords FC. We thought this would be another game also, a big game that would give us something of the top 8, because Lords came to this match day when they were second. We thought Elites would keep the top spot, but finally Giants had to cut the appetite short. Then Lords now get a chance to bounce back because now they are leading the table by 2 points above Elites, 22, then Elites 20, then Giants come in. Then on this game, this is a good game that was a good game to watch. Berogalco did it all, but finally, Lords had a chance to execute and get a goal. The Banyankore say omukama shenyire tashakumba. This tells you that Lords oba korota oba tukora tuta, Lords are in the top 8 no matter what. Shana and okumanya they are excited. I don't know if he's the president, the so-called Kagosi. Every time they update the table, it must be a post on all his socials, all status, WhatsApp, nayakichizeyo TikTok, nayatireyo X, niyeru kubera current post okuba table chibonire bashamwe. Then we go to the next game that was Eminence and Platinum, a game that seemed to be kind of a win for the Platinum FC, but finally it is a draw and a good performance to the Eminence. Finally, Cheetahs register their first win. Martin, congra. Kudos to you, big man. They register their first win against Lycans. Atechi should tell you, Martin, that Cheetahs is a small team. No, not small. It's kind of weak to Eminence. Hati, we had the same opponent on the same day. You managed to beat 1-0. Nyowe, I managed to go 4-0. So, meaning I have a balance of 3. Meaning in Ababa Git, I would still beat the two of you. Hey, Martin, those are my words to you. Then we go to descendants of Clep and Erudites. Nothing much to say because the young boys, this is their first season, so nothing much. Then we go to the derby. This derby is between Jamaican Bees and Ghetto. Before this match, Primo tumuhirirwe, he said oguwe mbwenu echa top 8 achireke akwechi niyo yinza kumukora chugumire. And we thought these were words of someone who usually jokes, that usually ebigambo byekire, because after this game Jamaican Bees managed to take 6 points, because this was a team that was last time they were 14th, but now it brings them back at least to they're in the 10th position. You see them moving and trying to catch up the pace of the top 8, and this is a team that knows how to play the knockouts very well from Kisoba League. Yes, despite the teams that are in the top 8, there are teams that have not had a chance to play this thing of knockout. I can surely tell you that among the teams that are very good in playing knockout stages, Jamaican Bees is one of them. Only that their challenge is that they don't win finals. The quarterfinal they go through, semi-final they go through, but finals, but it is also a credit that we credit them, because it is a team that knows what to do. And I also have hope that they must be in the top 8 if they continue taking the 6 points and those above keep losing. And let's go to the next game that was Gong and Men of Men, a derby. Another derby also. There's nothing much to say about such derbies, because Uriomena Aisha with so much energy, with so much zeal, so much passion from what was at the seminary, the friends you had made, those ntuzete imparana z'obunywani, maybe call it like that in Runyankore, ebintu nkebyo. Usually it brings so much love that draws us back to the seminary. Those moments we had in Bataka, Kufa, because usually this is a game that is between Engata na Nenkurutu. Bataka pitch was here, then Ateche Nkurutu shiria haruguru. Ompira gwashara gukazoku. When I remember what happened during our time, Omushijan wamwita Kasai, he's now in Jamaican Bees. Kasai, whenever the ball crossed and moved to their side, unless he knows you, so these are things that draw these things so much back home, the love, the smiles. But it is good we have such derbies in Kisoba League. It ended 0-0. Then we had another derby that was between Merikoko and Giants. Giants did it all, but as usual, the draw specialists, for them it's a win. For them, then let's go to another game that was between Elites and Navies. It's also sort of a derby. Not so much, but sort of a derby, because the Navies happen to be K15, so it is just a 1 year below the Galaxy. Galaxy by 1 year. Then another game that happened was between Galaxy and Variants. Variants did it all, took 2 points, but we expected Galaxy to come up after the loss they registered on the other match. We expected them maybe to come up and take something, conquer top 8. Egumisize league ebintu tubitarbaju ebindi byona ninza begamba nka top 8 egumisiza ebintu. Then we go to the last game that happened on this pitch. That was Kasananga and Team Haven. This is a game that ended 1-0 in favor of Team Haven. Kasananga registers their first loss. In football, yes, people out there are saying, people were so happy because from the minute Team Haven scored, the whole people are outside. Now we're supporting Team Haven. Why? Because this Kasananga had not lost any game since, and then now we may never have Sasi. You know, friends are funny that if at least nebeenda ni wonyigeho na ubashekeho. So people outside were the likes of Vianney, the likes of Kasinje. Vianney was like Kasananga mbakunda mubabantu banje mweni mumjendere wao. Because Team haven't scored around the second minute there, not so far. But Kasananga did it all. But it is something to learn that not all the time you have to win, but how do you assess after the loss? Because now we expect Kasananga to come the next match day, a different Kasananga, because we are fighting for the top 8. If you're losing, this is not an easy game, but Kasananga came not understand. I don't want to use the word understanding, but they did not give it all for the derby, like we know for a derby. Team Haven did their best. Basically, this is a team that I'm not saying ndio number one mnonga, but Team Haven is one of the teams that has handled Kasananga in the games that have been played this season. That was all that happened for match day 5. Echindi, maybe what made the day was Biamonga, and through FlexiPay abana munywira obushera. I saw you people drink because echupa njirebire, echupa was at around 15, and then tube tuinemu nanaga this normal alcohol 25. Then more so I send a good message to Tej Bread. I personally tested your personal gift. Ndagambe guro mugato gumbire nindya Kisoba Legue nanzire kunyoshera mukasheshe. No, there is a delivery that came to me, and especially it was an upload for these podcasts we do through Hilary Men of Men. We thank you for that. He delivered that package. Tej Bread, thank you, and also thank you for being part of these shows to make sure that nezibaho often and often. Then we have Biamonga as usual to run away. Though there is something me and you have in pipeline that we need to finish. Biamonga, H2 in Ekora, then my big elder and big man brother maybe, and more of that. Sunday Benjamin, thank you for the advice and the resources that are yet to come through you. Then we have Mahanji Frank, person from Rhodes. I'm also waiting for what will come through you. And then that is all that happened through the match day. And then finally, the person behind the camera, the photos, the videos, and all these podcasts, back shots, it is the courtesy of him. One on the Bishani, one on the video, bakutiro mwenda, nonda proposal. Byona ebyo byona inakana nonda katwara wa beach, nonda kasasa mazamu, all that interior designing and whatever, please come through. Byona and Tuvasa is nothing that is impossible with us, as long as kind of tukusera. For example, this week ejewire we had an 80% cut-off offer that was, it must be still running, because it was from, it is something that was running from Monday to Sunday, and an 80% cut-off. Abish, please, nime mukunda photo shoot ni mwabo, please bring those friends that call you besties. Hey, umkwatira he mwargaho byasigara mwera mure omuntu abakwatire. And that is all. We meet for the next match day come 19